welcome everyone to Read. I know you're probably looking at the title and like, what? I wanted to have this conversation with most women, and some men. Men go through these things, and cancer patients goes through them, especially men if they have to be on hormone treatments. Anywho, last week was a hard week for me. And I was like, I have to talk about this. And I'm just keeping it real. Last week, or really ever since I've been having hot flashes and different things, and the biggest myth, I thought that it only happens around 40, 45. I've met people who say they started in their 20s. I met people who say that they've been going through premenopause for years, almost 15 years, and then hit full-blown menopause. There is no right or wrong answer that I'm learning. Everybody's body is different. For me, on my journey, I am in pretty much my second, almost third year. The first year was ridiculous. It was like I didn't know what was going on. That time of the month would come and stay on. And normally I was like for 3 or 5 days, but it would come on for 3 months, go away. And then the doctor was like, no, you're not in menopause. You don't have to you can't have a period for a full year. And look, I can laugh about it. Sometimes I can't. I had where my menstrual would go off for 3 months, then it would be off for the rest of the year, and right at the end of the year, that sapsucker want to come back on. Really? That's what we're doing? So it's like we're starting all back over. So anywho, I tried estrogen, I went and got the pills, I tried vitamins, I've tried it all. And it just did not work for me. So I had to go to the gynecologist and say, look, this is what's going on. And they really didn't want that. My gynecologist, at first I had to switch, really didn't want to hear it because she was like, well, it could be symptoms from, and I'm a diabetic, I'm gonna just put it out there, symptoms from your diabetes. And I'm like, okay, I know my body. And that's the number one thing, ladies, and some men, if you're listening, don't allow anyone to tell you, just listen to them. You know your body better than anyone, because when you go to the doctor or you take your children to the doctor, the first thing they ask you about your symptoms, about how you was feeling, when it started. They need to do fact finding and gathering information, do tests and different things. So it's not just their opinion. So she was like, well, she really didn't want to do the menopause test. Because at the time when I went to the first gynecologist, they were stating that, I was in premenopausal, and I'm like, nah, it's bad. Cause I'm forgetful. I can't really hold my thoughts. I have a fan on the nightstand, ceiling fan. I've tried cooling pillows. You name it. It was, and when it was really bad, and it has its moments when it's still bad. But when it was like at the peak and nothing was working, so the doctor had to give me some medicine. And like I say, medicine works for different people. What worked for me may not work for you. The estrogen over the counter may work for you. I even tried, what was it called? The black colish, whatever. I tried natural remedies because I'm a person, I like to try natural things before I get to taking medicine and those things. That's like my last resort. And the first thing before natural remedies, I pray. And anywho, she was like adamant that she didn't want to do it. And and like I told her, I'm like, look, I just need you to take the test. You can't just tell me these are symptoms from diabetes. I know my diabetes symptoms. So she took the test, took my blood work, came back. I got a phone call. And the lady, not the receptionist, but her nurse was like, oh, she just want to let you know that, yeah, you are full-blown menopausal And I'm like, okay, thank you. And so she prescribed me some medicine. And even with that, what she prescribed, a year later, she had to put me on something that had extended release because, as you know, when you take medicine for so long, sometimes your body gets adjusted and used to it. But all I want to say is that I think a lot of times we need to start talking about these things. Sometimes they can be private, but for me, I walk in grace and I walk in spirit. And if this can help one person, it doesn't matter. If you looking up and you Google, it says 40 to 45 and all that stuff. You can't go by just what it says. You have to really know your body. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to let your doctor know like something's not right. And God will also, the Spirit will tell you like you need to get up and go, because I am a really big procrastinator when it comes to going to the doctor. But when the Spirit like he keeps gnawing at me and won't let up on it, it's time to go. So I tell anyone that is going through menopause, premenopause, full blown menopause, I am here with you, my sister, my brother. It's a everyday process. If you feel like you're forgetting things and oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When I was first going through it, really didn't know if it was menopause. I just know when I would go into like stores and it was just I had to really start investing in tank tops, just the less clothes, the more I could breathe as possible. I even invested in one of those little, it looked like a headphone, but it's Arctic, a little air conditioner you put around your neck to keep you cool. Yes, when I'm out and about, that's what I had to wear. Still go through, you never stop going through the symptoms. Sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're worse. And last week was one of those weeks when it was the worst. And the most important thing, just because that time of the month stops doesn't mean that all the time that those symptoms and different things that go along with those symptoms does not stop. Like last week, I had the full blown symptoms of like it was that, time for me. And then the menopause on both. And then I had forgot to refill my medicine. So I was like, I was moody. And I always say, I know why they call it menopause, but it needs to be called mental pause because you mentally go through it. You mentally, sometimes people come and talk to you, and you're like, what? Huh? So this is just me putting my life out there, letting all of you know that you're not alone. You are not crazy. And if you guys have any comments, any recommendation, any old school remedies, anything just drop it down in the comments. I appreciate you guys listening to me. And I just want all you ladies to know, and some men, we just keep each other in prayer. And there are some people out there that medication doesn't even work for, from what I've talked to women, and it doesn't work. And some women go through it for a few years, some go 20 years, and I just really don't know. And it's hard sometimes. You can't even go by what your mom went through, because I became in menopause far before my mom. And my time in the month stopped. My mom was well into her 60s when she was still receiving that time of the month. So it's hard to even say, how was my mom? How was my grandmother? Because all of our bodies are different. Our hormones, let's not talk about the hormones. Oh my goodness. Hormones everywhere. So this is Ree. I just want to say, let's keep each other in prayer. Let's keep those fans on, air conditioner, ice cold drinks, slushies, whatever we need to do. And let's just keep the movement forward of praying for each other and giving each other, just putting advice out there, and we'll try and see if it works. And if it doesn't, it may work for someone else. And I also wanted to add the American Menopause Society. I will have the link where you can click on if you need to read more about this, or just, find out some information, or have them to mail anything to you. And thank you for listening. If you could go ahead, if you didn't do it on the way in, if you can like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget the notification bell. I want to say thank you for watching and listening. And until next time, peace and soul. Mwah.